I was literally walking around the horse park in tears because I'm seeing what all these amazing horses are doing, and thinking if somebody didn't get them and retrain them from a new career, they could have ended up in very unfortunate circumstances. My name is Shanin Quashie. We are at my little 13-acre farm in Loudoun County, Virginia. I was fortunate enough to grow up with horses. My mom had horses all her life. Her father, my grandfather, grew up on a farm. So I was born basically sitting on a horse's back, as they say. And I really didn't get into the knowledge of thoroughbreds and off-the-track thoroughbreds and so forth until about 10, 15 years ago.
Ever since I could walk, I was thrown on a horse's back, and I've been loving horses ever since then. I didn't know that much about the horse racing industry until about 2013, when my mom and I adopted our first off-the-track thoroughbred, Woody. We literally drove right to the barns at Charlestown Races and took Woody home. I can only imagine what everyday life was like for Woody at the track and what went through his mind. It's hard to think about the many people that choose to keep their blinders on, rather than taking a closer look at the horse racing industry. Woody had been done racing for about a month, and he was restless and stubborn. He also seemed very unsure of his newfound freedom. It took him a while to realize that he could graze as he pleased and just roam around the pasture and drink water and play with the other horses. He didn't really know herd life, and he didn't know freedom like the average horse does. After some time, it became clear that the effects of the track were long-lasting, both physically and mentally. While at first we thought Woody was just this so-called strung-out crazy thoroughbred, it turns out he was actually in pain. Not only that, but he was constantly anxious, most likely due to his experiences at the track.
You'll notice the areas where there's these red periods or red spots of uptake, and that reveals a little bit of arthritis in his neck, along his spine, and in his pelvis, and in some areas on his legs and his ankles, or fetlocks or ankles, where he has some bony arthritic changes.
I come in on a regular basis, probably. We aim for once a month and end up probably every 6 weeks or so. Depends on the work they've been doing, what they've been up to. But in general, Woody has more of top line issues where he likes to have his back loosened up. It gets tight, but it's gotten better over the last year or so. All horses love to have their neck worked on. Their neck holds that very heavy head all day long, and for it to get a rest, Woody loves to have it put on my shoulder and just rest it for a while.
Once we began to treat Woody's ailments and troubles, he became a completely different horse. I mean, he acts like a big dog now. He's so sweet, he's so loving, he follows you around. He's honestly the sweetest horse I've ever met.
There's a organization called the Retired Racehorse Project, which is an organization that really was meant to promote the use of thoroughbreds again. I first learned about the makeover again in 2013 when we got Woody, and I always wanted to go, either to just watch, or, I thought someday it would be fun to participate, but I never really thought I would. So after going and volunteering for several years, I finally kind of decided I want to do this. It was going to be a bucket list thing that I wanted to actually take a horse to the makeover one year. And I knew that if I was going to do that, I wanted what they consider a war horse. And a war horse is a horse that's run in at least 50 races. I was just casually in the market, kind of as I always scroll through listings, seeing what's out there, and I came across Sobe at Sylvia. Sobe had a very long career. She ran 78 times. During her retraining process, we discovered that she did have what they call track jewelry. Track jewelry is what they consider, again, the wear and tear that they come home from the track in.
So earlier, her neck was stiff up in here, and she didn't want me touching it. So we just worked really slowly at it. Sometimes you just barely touch it. And then she did do compression and then some direct pressure, and lots of releases came out. But she was tight right up in there. Mm-hmm. Most thoroughbreds are known for left shoulder, right hind, because they're running on the track counterclockwise, and those are the legs that are getting them around the track more. So if you put this on, it has pulses. Humans swear by them too. There's a human version, but pulses of bioelectromagnetic pulses are going through it and stimulating blood flow and flow of fluids and toxins out of the body, and petition to warm up the muscles and get them ready to work. And then again after a competition to help them regulate and relax quicker. It just makes them feel good.
Sobe and I ended up finishing top 10 amateur, which is actually not bad considering. We just went to have fun. That's all we wanted to do, was have a great time, and that's what we did. It's such an amazing experience, because when you're there, you think that, again, these horses have had barely 10 months of training, and they've gone from running in little circles around the track to running barrels or jumping, or whereas if they weren't, because unfortunately a lot of thoroughbreds do suffer a lot of thoroughbreds suffer very unfortunate endings. And yes, I will cry, because it's heartbreaking that these horses give their lives, and they can end up excuse me, if they don't win the Kentucky Derby, or they're not famous here or there, they can end up in very unfortunate circumstances, and those meaning they end up on a truck heading to Mexico or Canada for slaughter.
Here comes the horse.